Good morning, tea-drinking pussies of Britain and anyone else, ladies, gents and Pikachus who's with me this morning. We're going to talk about Islam, and this is going to be very hard for some people to take because we're going to go through the Quran verses and the Bible verses which indicate to you why Islamophobia is a thing at all, what it actually means, why Muslims use it as a weapon to beat us Christians and anyone else who they can target with, and why, if you have true discernment, you really understand these things, you will understand Islamophobia, that made up thing, is a weapon for Islam, and it is a basic Christian doctrine. All Christians should be 100% Islamophobic all the time. Let's go through why that is. I can hear some of you whinging already. So let's start off right at the beginning of the Bible. What's the first thing that God says to Adam and Eve? After he's created them, they're married and all the rest of it, he says, "Listen to me, I am your father, I will guide you well. If you listen to Satan, then you won't be listening to me and you will incur a punishment." And then they get chucked out of the Garden of Eden because they listened to Satan. That's the first thing you need to recognize, is listening to Satan, whether you're a Christian or not, whether you're listening to God, that's a separate issue. If you're listening to Satan, then he's going to lead you to corruption. You'll become a bad person with a spiteful, evil heart through listening to Satan. That's his goal. So, Exodus 20. God specifically says, Satan is going to lead you to worship graven images, and you shouldn't. You should not serve these things in any way. Now, what's a graven image? A graven image is a fake image of something that's pretending to be the real thing, but is actually not. It's an evil version of it. That's graven. It's not just idol worship. It's not just a clone. It's not just a Chinese pair of Nikes that aren't real Nikes. Graven image means it is simulating something which is real for the express purpose of taking you away from that real thing and sending you off in the opposite direction towards Satan. That's a graven image. So, graven images are false religions. And also we know in the Ten Commandments, you shouldn't take the Lord's name in vain. And we know taking the Lord's name in vain is something which a graven image is going to encourage you into. So that's why they say, he's Islamophobic. No, Islam is a false religion which is promoting graven images in order to lead you to Satan. That's why they need dawah, why they need taqiyya, why they need apostasy laws, why they cut off your hands and feet, whip you and finally behead you if you say that you don't believe in Allah. Even if you don't, they don't care whether you do. They will make you say it because you have to be a slave of Allah. That's al-Fatiha. That's what the words in the Quran of Al-Fatiha are. You will be a slave of Allah. So it's not like Christians where you choose that you're going to serve Jesus and you think Jesus is a great guy. No. You will be a slave of Allah. Allah will subjugate and enslave you once you take your Al-Fatiha. And the way that he maintains this slavery is by pitting other Muslims against you if you deny it or you disagree or you wish to leave. As we see, there is 1,000 really great ex-Muslims on YouTube who attest to this. This is not Islamophobia. This is ex-Muslims from Arab countries saying this is their life. This is what happens to them. Hatun Tash used to be a Muslim. Now she's an ex-Muslim. They try to kill her and ruin her life. Salman Rushdie wrote the Satanic Verses, a really good breakdown of Islamic culture, Arab paganism, and why he goes away from that and is an atheist. They stabbed him in the eye and he has a fatwa out for his death by Muslims. Any Muslim can serve that fatwa, get paid a large amount of money, move to a Muslim country and never be punished for it. That's Islam. 2 Corinthians 11-16 speaks about deceitful workers, the workers of iniquity, false apostles. Satan appears as an angel of light. That's them. An angel of light means someone who claims to be your friend, someone who claims to care about you. They don't want to do you a favour. You know, they're taking you away from all this bad stuff and they're agreeing with you and they're slapping you on the back and saying, you're powerful, you're smart, you're pretty, you're clever, you're really successful. If you just do this, then we'll agree with you. We'll pat you on the head and give you false confirmation that you're doing the right thing. That is false apostles workers of iniquity, deceitful workers, deceit, lying, takia, dawa is deceitful, lies. And we know Allah describes himself as the greatest of all trickers, the greatest deceiver. Or, you could translate it kind of slightly incorrectly and say he's the greatest of planners, but it's a different word. The word for planning in Arab is not the same word as deceit. The original manuscript of Allah's word, not humans translating it how they like so they can dower you. Allah says himself, of himself, I am the greatest of all deceivers. He doesn't say planners. He doesn't make plans. Why would you have a plan if everything's already pre-written? Huh? Ever thought about that, Muslims? No, they haven't, because they don't care. All they care about is to trick you with dawah, taqiyya, to pull you away from whatever your politic or religion is and bring you into subjugation. How do I know this to be true? Well, let's start with the Quran verse, Quran 5:51. And I quote, "Do not take Christians or Jews as friends or associates, O Muslims, for they are unjust, disobedient, and they disbelieve of Allah. If you are friends of theirs, you will become as one of them, an enemy of Allah, and you will be sent with the Christians and Jews to the evil fire." That is the Quran. That is literally what Allah's word says. Not I got an English one over there. It doesn't say that in the English one. Muslims, when they're doing dawah, they won't tell you this. They'll say, "No, he didn't say that." Infidel. They're not allowed to deny that Allah said that, because Allah's word is only in Arabic, written by Muhammad and his companions, and Muhammad and his companions said these words. That's exactly what Islam is. So Muslims, when they are saying, "I'm your friend," when you say, "I have a Muslim friend," no, you fucking don't. What you have there is an attacker doing a minor jihad, a bit of dawah on you for points to their Lord Allah. And their only goal is to separate you from everything that is good and holy, to separate you from God, Christians, Westerners, white people, your family, anyone they need to, in order that they can win that Allah point. Let's read it again. This is Quran, verse 51, book 5. "Do not take Christians or Jews as friends or associates." So they can't have you as a friend. If they say you're my nice, friendly Muslim, they're not a Muslim then. It's not like Christianity where you can say, "I'm a Christian, but I don't do half the things." Because Christians aren't slaves. We're volunteers. Allah says in Al-Fatiha, page 1, verse 3, "You will be a slave of Allah." Verse 6 says you'll do everything without question, the straight path. Why do you think it's called a straight path? It's because you are born here in A, you're going to go here, B. It's a straight line. You're not allowed to deviate from it. You're not allowed to say, "I pick this verse and not this verse," or "I don't want to do this bit, I do this bit. I'm a cultural Muslim." No. These people are lying to you. Islamophobia is a tool, a word they've created to try and brainwash you with these dawah lies. And that is the reason why you must take this on board as truth. This is why I'm reading you the Quran as well as the Bible. "Do not take Christians or Jews as friends or associates, O Muslim, for they are unjust disbelievers in Allah." Notice that. The thing that makes them unjust is that they disbelieve in Allah. So that's you at the moment. You are that person right now when they're doing the dawah saying, "I'm your friendly Muslim." You are not their friend. They're calling you a friend so that you listen to them. In their head, you are unjust. And the reason you are sinful and unjust is because you don't slave for Allah. You are not a Muslim. So that means "I'm your friendly Muslim" is a person who wants to convert you, whatever you are now, to being a Muslim so that they can get that dawah point from Allah and they can improve their chances of finally going to the paradise after they killed a Jew or a Christian and then they die. Little do they know, because they don't read the Quran, they just get it preached by their husband or in a mosque, they will never get to paradise. There are no women in paradise at all. The only women that appear in paradise are virginal sex slaves that appear in a tent for the purpose of having sex with, then they just dissipate. They are not permanently there. They're like holograms. They just appear, you have sex with them, they disappear. That's why you get 72 virgins. After you've had sex with them, they're no longer that, are they? So they disappear. Then you get another 72. So you've got a constant flow of 72 virgins. What do you think women get, by the way? I bet your Muslim friend didn't want to tell you that. What does she expect to do, even if she makes it to paradise, which, by the way, she won't? What does she think she's going to gain when she reaches paradise? Do you think there's a tent with 72 virginal men up there? No. And even if there were, she wouldn't be allowed in. And we know this. It's described in the Quran again. The only boys that get sex in paradise for a Muslim are the pretty boys which Mohammed describes having such a fondness for. Ever thought about that, my Muslim friend? Why don't you tell me about that? What about these pretty boys that you have lying around for whatever purpose that don't do anything apart from hang around with Mohammed all day? Why don't they have wives? Why don't they get 72 virgins? Perhaps they're for some other purpose. But that's just conjecture. You have to read the Quran to figure that out, because they won't openly tell you. Dawah, taqiyya, lies. So, let's carry on. 1 Timothy 4. In the latter times, some Christians shall depart the faith of their church, for giving ear to seducing spirits and the doctrines of devils. What do you think that's referring to? Seducing spirits, as in people who are trying to appeal to you with lies, going, don't listen to Christians, they're Islamophobe, they're evil, racist, Nazi, go away from them, brother, don't listen to them. That's what they'll say. And they'll say, come over here, we'll give you empowerment, we'll give you everything, we'll give you love and grace, and you'll be the most powerful, strong woman ever. All you got to do is subjugate to Allah. And then you'll say, well, why would I do that? Women don't have any power in Islam. And they'll go, yeah, they do. I only wear this bin liner over my head because I really love wearing a bin liner over my head. The only reason I got no male friends is because I don't want any male friends. The only reason I'm talking to you about Muslims now, despite you being a Christian, it isn't because I told you by my husband. No, it's not because I'm terrified of Allah. No, it's because I really love doing it. How about you take your Shahada? Will be the next possible thing they'll say. And how do we know this is true? Because 2 Corinthians, Satan appears as an angel of light. Deceitful workers, false apostles, Muslims. I hope you are seeing now, and we've only got through half of it, why Islamophobia is not only a good thing, which is for your own good. It preserves your freedom, your ability to choose Christianity or not. We're not going to force you. Christians aren't going to force you. Christians might suggest to you, for your own good, be a Christian, but they're not going to force you. We're not going to cut your head off if you leave either. You can leave any time you want. You're not a slave. Muslims, once you're in, you're in. Out by blood. That means they'll kill you if you leave. Why do you think every single ex-Muslim on YouTube lives in a Western country? There's no ex-Muslims making YouTube videos from Egypt, from Iran, from Syria, from Afghanistan, from Libya, because they get their heads cut off for not worshipping Allah. Despite the fact they don't have any belief anymore, it doesn't matter to them. They are slaves. It doesn't matter what they believe. They're not there to believe. It's not for their own salvation. Their benefit is for Allah's benefit, because their birth is a great injustice to Allah and they owe him a debt. That's also in the Quran. Ask your Muslim friend about that. She'll just lie to you. And we get onto the last verse. Romans 16. Now, a lot of people, Christians especially, they go, Romans has got a very hard tone. Keep in mind, Roman people at the time had their own Roman religion. For a Roman person, before the fall of the Roman Empire, before Byzantium and Christianity becoming their religion, Christianity was seen as a huge evil in the Roman Empire. So if you were a Roman soldier who is preaching Christianity, you are under huge threat of death all the time. You've had your entire family and wealth taken away from you, and you've been issued with a death warrant as a criminal. That's Romans. That's why they have such a hard tone. These are guys who were willing to die to save you, to give you the light of Christ, to give you salvation. They're willing to have their heads chopped off for that. It's the opposite of what the Muslims are doing. So a Muslim is the opposite of a Roman Christian in this sense. The Roman Christian is in your corner, wants you to be happy, well-fed, loved and saved, and will happily lose their head to give you that. Muslims will lose their head if they don't preach you dawah and lie to you and convince you that this is wrong. These Roman guys are bad. So don't listen. Romans 16. Avoid them which cause division, and mark them which cause offence, contrary to that which you were taught through the Holy Gospels. Two things in this verse. Avoid them which cause division and offence. So when you spot these guys, avoid them. because they're just going to lie to you. They have no moral or social value to you. They are targeting you for the minor jihad. Friendly Muslims especially, they don't give a shit about you. They're not your friends. They are targeting you, which is why they're saying in the Bible, God is telling you through the Bible, avoid them, which cause division and offence, contrary to that which you are taught. So if they're saying the opposite, if they're saying whatever's in the Bible, no, that's wrong, that's them. Second thing, mark them. What do you think that means when it says mark them? It doesn't mean take a biro and draw a little mark on them. It means with your head, mark them out. Say, these guys are never going to change because Islam. Not because Arab, not because Pakistani, not because Bangladeshi, not because male, female, whatever else they're going to lie to you about. It's because Quran. 551. Don't take Jews or Christians as friends or associates. They are friends of associates of each other, and you will burn in hell with them if you accept them. So there's two things that the Quran says. A, don't be friends with these guys. B, if you do, we'll burn you in hell the same as we will them. So says Allah. That's the Quran. That's what your Muslim friend really thinks about you. You're unjust and sinful. You are stupid and ignorant. And you are ripe for the picking for that point that they'll get for doing the dawah. Whereas Romans says if you avoid them and you mark them so that they can't trick you, you will be doing what you have been taught. What have you been taught? I can do this bit from memory. Jesus teaches you, love your family, tell the truth, don't rape, pillage, steal, lie, cheat or thief. Look after your parents and your children and they will look after you. And live a good life. It doesn't say anywhere about going around evangelizing to people, threatening them, lying to them. It says the opposite. But it does say in the Ten Commandments, never take the Lord's name in vain and don't worship graven idols, false images, which is Islam. So, in contrary to what you've heard, the point of this, Islamophobia is Christianity. Because Christianity says false religions, graven idols, and evil spirits of deceitful things are your enemy. So on the Christian side, Islamophobia is necessary to be a good Christian. On the Muslim side, Muslims are told, Quran 551, do not take Christians or Jews as friends because they are enemies, we're going to have to kill them. That's what Christians are to them. That's what Allah tells them. If you are a Muslim, like your Muslim friend has told you, they have to tell you that they're a friend so that they can do the dawah with you because you wouldn't listen otherwise. They know they have to lie to you, otherwise you won't accept it. So they say Muslim women have the most rights. They say Muslim women own all the stuff in the house. The men are just caretakers. They just mow the lawn. They just look after the kids. It's a lie. Muslim women have no male friends. They have no property of their own. They only go into education to learn what the husband has told them to learn. And if they ever dare do anything, even if they leave the house without the husband being there or a chaperone, they will get lashings, starvation, beatings and death. That is in the Quran. That is Surah 4, the Book of Women. And in 3 actually, Imran. But your Muslim friend won't be telling you about that because she doesn't want you to know. She likely doesn't know either, because this is the thing you need to keep in mind. Muslims are not studious. They do not study the Quran the way I have. They have not read it cover to cover the way I have. They have not compared the original Arabic script with that phony English version, the green cover one that everyone seems to think is real. And you know why they don't need to? Because it's not coming from them. They're slaves of their husband, of their imam, of Allah. And they are doing his bidding. Allah is Satan. If you listen to them, you're listening to Satan. He will draw you away from your family, your loving friends and your church. Replace your faith with a seething doubt, a festering spite. And you will be miserable as a result. So please don't do that. However, if you have true courage and spiritual strength, if you have real discernment, if you can see with your eyes and hear with your ears, even if you're not a Christian, you will know one thing. All you need to do to know these things as a fact, and I will encourage you strongly to do this, is buy and read a Quran yourself without a Muslim telling you how it actually sounds and what it actually means. No, it means what the words say. And Allah's word is in Arabic, so you're going to have to translate an Arabic one to get the truth. That itself is a big indicator that these guys are deceitful workers of iniquity, lying false apostles. Why would they rewrite their book? Why would they rewrite their whole book specifically for Westerners to read, but then not be ashamed of it? If it's not good enough for us to read word for word, then you should be ashamed of it. Because I have got here many different versions of the Bible. I've got my one, the Catholic one, the Greek one, the Hebrew one. All of these books have different words, but the meaning is the same. And that's why Christians don't have dawah, because our book is truth. We are not ashamed of it. We are happy and joyous that we have that from God. And it leads us right. So that means we know who our friends are without having to be told. And we also know who our enemies are. And we know our enemies are Islam. Despite claiming they're our friends, they want to mislead us and ruin us so that they can be a good slave for Allah. And I hope I've made the point to you that if you are truly a good, courageous spirit, a Christian or not, doesn't matter, either way, a good, discerning person who cares about their own life and their brothers and sisters, you will know Islamophobic is not bad. It's good to be Islamophobic. Christians should all 100% be Islamophobic all the time. It is not racist because you don't choose Islam as a race. It's not a race, is it? You choose Islam as a religion once you have been introduced to it. And you can leave. So it isn't, you can't leave your race. I can't leave my race. I didn't choose my race. It chose me. But my race does not have doctrines. That's the thing about Islamophobia. Islam is a set of doctrines, like don't take Jews and Christians as friends, like chase them out of their homes and kill them down to the last man, like if your woman is divorced twice, then she should dispose of herself in a way that pleases Allah, i.e. she should blow herself up. Like if your son is effeminate, you should beat him until he becomes strong or he'll become a concubine. Like in the last days, when you are chasing down the final Jew to create the paradise, this is the main thing of Islam, when the Jews are hiding from you, you can call out to the rocks or trees, "O rocks, O trees, where is the last Jew hiding?" And Allah will cause the rocks and trees to shout back, "He's here, he's hiding over here." And then you go and cut his head off. And when the final head is off the final Jew and Christian, Allah will split the moon in half and fly out on a winged unicorn, land on the earth, and Armageddon will hit, and then the judgment day will arrive, where Allah will resurrect all the dead people and then kill them again because they're bad, and then the Muslims can finally create their paradise and go there and get their 72 virgins. But all the Muslim women don't go. They just go to hell because hell's full of women, according to Allah. That's the point. I hope you've really taken this on board. I'm quite happy to be questioned. If you don't believe any of this, you think this is just Islamophobic, you think this is not true, I fucking dare you. Get yourself a copy of the Quran in Arabic, translate it with a translator, OCR, optical reader, where you scan a line and it translates a word, and you just do word, then you just grammatize a sentence. It's easy. An idiot like me has managed to do it. Or you can buy one like Osama Dakdok, who is from an Arab country, who by the way is now a Christian. He has translated it word for word in the generous Quran. Buy that and read it yourself. And I guarantee you'll find every single thing I've said to be 100% true, even though Muslims will lie about it, because they are liars. Their whole religion is lies. Their whole dawah is a routine of lies. Taqiyya is permissible lying. In fact, as an extra bonus point, their law code, Reliance of the Traveller, instructs how the Muslim treats foreigners when they're in the foreign lands. And you know what it says? It has a rule called permissible lying. How can they have a faithful, truthful religion when it is based on a system of permissible lying. And guess what the permissible lying means? If anyone speaks ill of Muhammad, their prophet, or says something bad about Islam, makes Islam feel bad, it specifically says Allah loves those the most who lie to cover up the sins of their religion, who preaches up their brothers to cover up their sins. Permissible lies. That means even though you know something to be factually a lie, you will say it's a truth anyway and punish anyone who disagrees. That is Islam. Whether your friendly Muslims like to admit it to you or not, that is what they are doing. And we know this because they call themselves a Muslim. Oh, but they're subjugated. They're not real Muslims. They're just saying they're Muslims. If they're willing to be subjugated like that, admitting that they're a slave of Allah and telling you that your religion's bad, put two and two together. You can't trust this person anyway. Discernment, truth. It's all important that you know so that you don't end up going to hell with these guys, because that's exactly where they'll end up. We know that from their own book, even if you don't believe in Christianity. And that's where I hope you stay away from. Never trust a Muslim, never trust Islam. Read a Quran if you don't believe me, although I've done like a million videos where I've read it out in full for you, so you can read my videos. But the main thing is this: never ever let these guys blind you with lying, lead you off down a dark alley, because once you're down that dark alley, it's a long way back. And without a light, i.e. the light of Jesus, you will not find your way. So be very careful. Have discernment, know what's true, and you will do just fine. So that's the end of this video. God bless you all. Hope you enjoyed that and you learned something, and I will see you, lovely people, in the next one. Bye now. Never, ever allow yourself to be made into a slave by the evil lies of the Muslims. And that's the end of this video. God bless you all. Have a lovely day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.